Welcome to 5 and 5, the review series where I analyze 5 elements of a board game in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today I'll be looking at Legends of Andor: The Last Hope. The Last Hope is the final title in the Legends of Andor trilogy, but does the new game live up to its predecessors? Let's find out and get to the list. The first thing to know about the game is that, hey, it's still The Legends of Andor. It has all the excellence and awfulness we've come to expect from the series. Beautiful standees and artwork? Check. An intense tactical puzzle where you have to consider every move you take carefully? Yep. Poor translation that actively gets key rules wrong and forces you to look through forums, sometimes in German? You bet. If you hated the game before, there's nothing here to change your mind. If you loved it, you might love it again. Yeah, let's see how that works out as we get to the rest of the list. To the game's credit, it adds a lot of new elements as well. You have to scrabble for food in caves and fields or suffer massive damage to your characters. On the positive side, this increases scenario replayability as you desperately dig through every nook and cranny for that last piece of food you need. Please, Mr. Gore, can I have one more herb? Standy stomp! But a lot of the time, searching for food becomes the most important task you're pursuing in the game. Come on, Legends of Andor, this isn't the 7th continent. Also, if the random placement gods decide to leave all the food at the back of the map, good luck winning. But don't worry, there is a new element that is straight up awesome, and that's how they've added to each hero's powers in the game. In the original Legends of Andor, each hero had one power, and they often weren't very inspiring, especially the dwarf, whose only power was sweet discounts at the cave store. But in The Last Hope, every hero has 2 abilities. The wizard has 3 different spell books, the elf can brew potions to boost combat ability, and our sad little dwarf has become a total boss. Eat your heart out, Gimli. Now, combat is still resolved with the old die-rolling system, and like in previous games, it can be exciting but also infuriating. And the randomness doesn't stop with the combat, but also shows up in random objectives, random food placement, random enemy deployment. It's the most randomness in any Andor release, which to be fair, adds a lot to scenario replayability. But losing the game because the troll rolled triple 6s again after you've played for 2 hours isn't too much fun. But despite Lady Luck playing a major role in the game, the Legends of Andor series has always been about tough tactical choices. The Last Hope still has this in spades, but sadly it feels more frustrating here than it has in any other game in the series. More than ever before, the puzzles seem too specific and strict in how you solve them. You'll often reveal a new event and realize that you had to do something 3 turns ago to have a chance of defeating the scenario, and you'll have to play the whole thing over again. As a veteran of the series, there is not a single scenario I played in this game that I didn't have to retry 2 or even 3 times, and that's a lot to ask. Though I've loved the series so far, the combination of increased randomness and overly strict scenarios made the game feel just too tough. That said, if you're looking for a very challenging game with engaging puzzles, you might enjoy Legends of Andor. Just be ready to play it a lot. As a little bonus review, I picked up the Dark Heroes expansion for Legends of Andor, because I'm an Andor addict, even when it hurts me. The 4 new characters in the expansion are generally excellent. You've got a necromancer who can summon a bone golem for all those Diablo fans out there, a druid who can shapeshift into a bear and might hurt the other heroes for those World of Warcraft or Brave fans, a half-Skrull who rocks in combat but might help the enemies advance on you more quickly, and a seer who can flip over tokens on the board, predict events, and even predict the combat dice he'll use. These new heroes are technically usable in both the base game and the Last Hope expansion, and I recommend them for both. A nice touch for their use in The Last Hope is that all the elements that heroes in that game have are also here as well. The new heroes get secondary abilities, alternative story cards, and in one of my favorite touches, cards that fill in the backstory for the characters. Despite my reservations with The Last Hope, I do think the Dark Heroes expansion is worth picking up, even if you only use it for the base game of Legends of Andor. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.